So we're going to begin with a verse from Aryadeva as a guide to the Bodhisattva's way of life.
Oh, yeah. Oh, then. Yeah. Just as you shall, yes. Tension Dini, Shinto Nebarka. Give it turn to Tobar Jobala. Getting the Pemba Matuna, Chindi under Jobakalajur. She is some bataras, or Sholkat children.
This is the fourth chapter of the fourth verse of the first chapter, where the great Shantideva said, "This leisure and endowment, or opportunity, which are so difficult to obtain, have been acquired, and they bring about the welfare of the world. If one fails to take this favorable opportunity into consideration, how could this occasion occur again?"
Oh, yeah. No, the India Kokasra. Then the Kasra. Then you didn't to Nebarka, Sarah. Give it in root over Jobalas. There was a church of a Talwada. Tunji Kangan Jorbet in it, then you give melody. And he goody Shinto Trupkawa Imbe, and he Shinto Nekawa in Songdua. Then you didn't to Nebarkas.
It's stated that this leisure and endowment, it says here, which are so difficult to obtain. A human life endowed with the 8 freedoms from non-leisure and also the 10, the 10 opportunities or the 10 endowments, this precious human life endowed with that has those, then is so difficult to obtain, mainly because it's difficult to assemble the causes that bring this about.
Give it to root about your last one. Oh, the Indico, then you give million dating, eh? And Tendro Tabuko, send the Chibut on Damado, true mission getting the Mayimba. Give us Chima Pangela Pembe, at the Lapchambo, or Tendro Troop to a orders, or give it to root about your last.
And so it says, which is so difficult to obtain, have been acquired, and they bring about the welfare of the world. Here, bringing about the welfare of the world doesn't mean that they just make it possible for us to achieve our aims in this lifetime. It's really referring to achieving our aims from the next lifetime on. And so a human life of leisure and opportunity is then able to attain such aims which are very effective.
No, the troop never come delia, and each my pension get under my ruber. Tendru troop to be again. Send the Chibupa. Send the Chibupa. So I turned that troop. And it turned to Yan Jongsungua. Message in a trash, yes, in turned to Yan Jongchen. Message so to but in it turned to the Cabamach on Resungua. The end of court turned to let Haba. Sangasaya, Tantochi, send the saw something, turned to get to the Tranduyan Coral Pape, Tranduyan comes the Chet of Grace. The Naranzo Timato Chimatuni, Jidin Chima Pengelia, Lapshet and Dr. Madonna, turned to the Cabamach on Res. The end of Tendrule Cash over Cheche, send this on mine by Chima Pengela Pembe, turned out to go race on Godoa.
Bringing about the welfare of the world doesn't mean just that you spend your life working for trying to sustain your life. If you just do that, then you won't at all be achieving what can be achieved for the next life and beyond. And in fact, it said that animals are very good at just sustaining their life, and so then you wouldn't be doing anything, beyond what animals do. So then when you're achieving the purposes or the welfare for the next life and beyond, then that's how you would then do better than simply what animals are able to achieve.
Oh yeah. 어디 인도자고 기비탄다 가지고 툭툭 가르쳐 그러잖아. 나 가서 님마다 봐셔야 돼. 겨와 치마 편이제 치마 년줄을 맞이와 하던 미 겨와 상부지도 왜 된다리야. 시안을 써와방 펜바트 어디를 좀 거야 지라. 되네 텔레 하바데 된저그 밀리 된저 텐토바 치부기 펜도미도 되네 라리아 코알라 깨고 그러네 손에 깨고 그랬었네. 레다 녀목이 샤와도 좋네. 기치 제거 봐. 풍분도는 제거 봐. 뜻이도 동해지랑 실력만 돼버렸었네. 레녀지 샤와지 풍분도는 제거 봐. 코알라 타르바 제거 봐. 좋아. 되네 때라지 부상만 봐. 파마기에 심지어 시안남자 고야 동해를 타워를 잡고 뒤에 제배 넣어 단대라를 매배 라니 견권세 요데 근데 이제 기부시던 요네 심지어기 때문에 던져 받치기 했냐배 소배 chan주기 심 그러와 제마 순제께 대체도네 최니 최래 퇴바체 삼바체 공바체네 냠술랑기 대체도네 최딩양기 삼군노 세tamni semboshus more degree.
Then to attain the purpose of this next life and beyond, we've been talking about that over the past few days. And so then just to reset your motivation, then think I will use this, think I can use this opportunity to avoid harming other beings and do whatever I can to help, and therefore not be reborn into the unfavorable rebirths, but to attain a human life, or a human or a deity's life, and also a life that is endowed with leisure and opportunity, and but just doing that for myself. When just having that kind of a life doesn't mean that I reach beyond suffering. When once I'm to be reborn over and over again under the influence of my former karmic actions and my afflictions, then I will be constantly, continually suffering. So in order to free myself from such suffering, then I will strive to attain liberation. And then thinking that just freeing, just freeing myself alone is not sufficient. For the welfare of all living beings, in order to liberate all living beings from suffering, I will attain the high state of the Buddha, a person who has completely eliminated all faults and attained all good qualities. So in order to do these, then I will listen to these teachings and reflect upon them and then put them into practice.
Oh yeah. Tangan zo ngobo rangshingi tongba truba so ta yige chinswa. Ngobo rangshingi tongba truba telo dorden geshe nishe. Dorden ba de chinsar che ta gebar sheba de re do.
So we're on the 14th chapter now, and we're proving that composite things are empty of inherent existence. And we've done the brief exposition. Now we're on the extensive exposition.
Oh yeah, dude. Geshe dilia tunzen shi kone shegdo. Tunzen shi kone ta tangbo chengi ba sumba panche ngura. Tangbo de karre dosana. Chokba tinjub tu mushir tala kakba se dire do. Yangla mangbo chashe mangbo chokba de temba truba yosana o dilpa takche chene pa kakdo.
This extensive explanation has 4 different parts. Those will reveal themselves as we go along, but this first part then is refuting a truly existent composite by examining the 4 possibilities. Composite means, I don't know, things, it's talking about like a group or an assemblage. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that dilpa. Temba de sheba ni cheta ta temba stambo. Chokba tinju dina kaya mushi takche chene pa go su di shegdo.
The first verse then is the exposition of this, and so setting forth how we're examining with the 4 possibilities.
What page are you on, so I can give it to Akash?
What page we're on? We're page 266.
Yeah. Pumba she chawa sira. Oh, pumba she chawa chokba rangi ngoe truba yona. Sudan pumba rangshin gita dili pumba dili ko chashe mangbu yorba sa yin junga me lung sa chun me lung junga shiche. Su ti ro re chasche. Ne chashe ndu ge chokba le tene pumba re yora. Oh, di ndu tinde chokba de se yora. Pumba she chawa chokba de rangi ngoe truba yona se yora. Ene di Sudan pumba rangshin ki chikam tades. Ta tende pumbe su te da pumba nibu de rangshin ki trube chikre da tade res takje che tiba kagdwa.
Here then it says if the composite known as pot exists by way of it, essentially exists, are the visible form and the pot one or different? So here when we say that the composite known as pot means that the pot is a composite. I suppose that's a better pronunciation. A composite that brings together 8 different substances. There's the 4 elements of earth, fire, water, and wind energy, and then there's the 4 which are what form, smell, taste, and tangibility.
Yeah. Oh, the tambo chicken is na sigora. Ko suda pumba rangshin gitube chicken is na rangshin chicken is na. Ro chikam tade sta rangshin chicken is na sigora. And su ni pumshi chigma yin sigda. Su ni pumba o she suda pumba rangshin gitube chigma yin bartas. Ta su pumbe suda pumba sigora. Pumbe su si pumbe yipta pumbe kado da tende yongura. So pumbe su sigora. Pumba da pumbe su ni buti sigora. Su ni pumba o she su da pumba rangshin gitube chigma yin bartas. Pumbe su da pumba ni buti rangshin gitube rangwini tube chigma re sigora. Rangwini tube chigsina rangwabe chig sigora. Rangshin giku chigri batal sigora. O chigma yin barta tedana kaan su yobatina pumba yobartawaji. Pumbe su da pumba ni chigri suna pumbe ka shab towa la soba tesu kaanga pumba da chigri gurina. Pumba ka de pumba re, pumbe shab pumba, pumbe towa pumba re, pumbe tutin re ne, pumba re ndugri sigara.
Then if we take that they're either one or different, the verse states if they're one, okay, so the form is a pot. They are not one, is what the first line states. And so in the commentary it says, in the first case it follows that the form and the pot, in the statement, the form is a pot, are not inherently one. Here we're talking about inherently one, or essentially, or intrinsically one, or you can say intrinsically the same, or that they exist from their own side as one, or just that they're autonomously one. So then if they were completely the same, then it says otherwise there would be so they're not inherently one, and otherwise if they were inherently one, there would be a pot wherever there is a visible form. So if you take a pot, it has a sort of a bulbous shape, and it has a stand upon which I don't know, a flat stand upon which it sits, and so forth, all the different parts of the shape, but each one of those would then be a pot.
Oh yeah. The tade yensene dig marese. Sungden pumshen yemi la sudwa. Pumbe suda ne pumba ni bude rangwe ne tube rangwe ne ngo shen chene yoba marese gora. Oh dikaresen debana. Lejin tenshen be palandan demba dar sule tenshen be pumba sudan dembar to nase. Lejin la palandan dembar resena. Lejin la moto yoresena ko tenshen be ngo tade yobatil sigare sora. Oh dinashin pumba da pumbe sukse de ngo tade ni yoba mare sigara. Karesena to nase sudan dembe pumba sula ranshin shendo yoba mila de yoba mimbarta sula teme don zimbarta veche. Pumbe sudan pumba ni rangwe lejin ki moto nashin tenshen do yona pumbe su nawala matwebar pumbe jangjan nang juyo kore te yo mare sigora. Disa.
Yangja sanat pumbe yangja. Oh.
Dire. Pumbe ta pumbe su nyebute lejin la moto yoba nashin ngo tade demba ina sigora. Ngo tade yoba ina. Ne pumbe su di charola pa mi tadi pumbe su di machar ne pumbe loksu tongi yo kore sigora. Di mebe chir sigora. Pumbe Sudan, Kato to the Madon, the Pumbe Slogach Tungu, the Mabishigora.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that when we're talking about the form, we're talking about the color and the shape. And so, and here then, the pot that has form is not separate. One might think that the pot, which is, the line in the verse says the pot that has form is not separate. You might think that it was separate, but it's not separate. So here it says one might think that the pot, which is something distinct or separate from visible form, possessed form the way Devadatta possesses a cow, or maybe to make it more current, possesses a car, as something separate. However, it follows that the pot which has form is not inherently separate from the form. Otherwise, it would be apprehensible independently of its form. You would be able to perceive the color and the shape totally separate from the pot.
This one. Oh, yeah, that. Sikani Badira. Oh, Pumla, Suyu me, she says, Sula Pumba, you are my Sidua. Pumbalia so de, Pumbalia so de, and Tenshan Dembeswiki Yoma Resigora. Pengo Kagacha Chokzekalia, Poyavana Shinchi Yoma Resigora. Pumla so Tenshan to Pumbesu Tenshan Dembamares. Pumbe Suria, Pumbadian, Tenshan Suipan Demba Yoma Rese. Oh, Tindua. Dendua. Pumla Suyu Mishin Sira, Yumishin. Sula Pumba Yumayisid. Pumbala Su Tenshan to Tembeswiki Yabamayense. Sula Pumba Tenshan de Carson like Jashu. Carson's the Pelletinalia. Shubatan, Shindon of the Shabana Shinche, Yabama Resora. Yabama de Ranshin Shendo Mebeshis, Kuni, Pumbata Pumbesu said, Mota de Ranshin Shani Yama Resora. Pumbesu dan Drelni Pumbasha Mado, Mota de Meber Chirisora. Yeah.
So the final two lines read, the pot does not have form, nor does the form have a pot. So here, the commentary states, the pot does not have form as something apart, which depends upon it. Here, what it's talking about is like totally two different things, like the cup and dish are on the table, depending on the table, and then so that's not the way that pot has form, nor does the form have a pot dependent upon it, like the dish and its contents, because neither exists inherently or intrinsically. Here, it's indicating that they would have to be apprehensible, independent of each other, and therefore they can't exist that way. They exist, pot and form, pot and its form are what do you say, related to one another or dependent upon each other.
Moya Tatunda Karsigorasana. Pumbalia, Kadota, Yipta, Sada, Sayin Junala Soba, Timangboto de Ora. Oh, this Soba change, Pumbasiate, Rangwine Trubayova Mares Ora. Rangwine Trupimar, Soba Mangula Tenepa, Pumbaspa, Kadota, Yipta, Tishacho, Hojo, Tutemangula Tene, and Pumbaspa, Tapasam Shao, Ora. The members of Pumba Kanga saw the Pumbas Rawanto Yeva Yenasigora, and a Pumbada, Pumbeso Sunibude, Chicken Yoreda, 뱅고 타대진이 요래서라 직접 타대니까 그도 아니 분발이야 수된 현준 되네 레진의 발란된 번신 된대요 그래 야 발란이야 레진 가서래 야는 레진이야 수 말에 발란이야 레진이 발란된 된선이 뭐 타대변 되주이나 쓰거라 아니 분발이야 수디 된 현준 된 그래 야는 수라 분발 된 현준 된 그래 타바나를 신도 여번나시 된데서요 된데 다시 제바잖을까 그도와 어떤다 그 분바세에 속발을 때네 봐 르딱 좀 샤워마도 랑운의 요마를 랑운의 요나 차시에서 레레레다 직신이 요르다 타대신이 요르다 denshengji pa teni yorda, su teni yorda, denrechi cheba chen kagdwa. Oh, yeah.
So what's being said here is that the pot in its form are, well, the pot is made up of many different components. There's the shape, which consists of the color, the form, which consists of the shape and the color, and then there's the different, components of the four elements, and there's the right side, the left side, and there's the bottom, there's the top, and there's all of these different components, when they are assembled together, then we, in dependence upon that assemblage, we impute the name or concept pot, and that's enough for its existence. If you then look for the pot existing there from, autonomously from its own side, then when you subject it to this analysis, you can't find that it's the same as the same as its form, or that it's different or separate from its form, and it's not dependent upon. It doesn't have it doesn't depend on the form, like where the when you say it's separate, the idea is that separate means like Devadatta possesses a cow. Then when you say the pot does not have a form, it means that the pot does not depend upon it, just like the cup depends upon a table, and then it's not and it's not in what do you say and the form does not have or depend upon the pot, just like a dish and its and the fruit in the dish, and so you refute that it has any kind of inherent or autonomous existence.
뭐야? 나 된다고 다를 자는 소설 자는 데서 꼬대매도. 그냥 아주 풍부가 던덴베 다지어라. 소소. 그러니 소보다 샘당 서로당 두시당 두시 풍부세 풍부가 위에 다지어라. 풍부가 소발에 위에 다디. 풍부가 버려다 랑윈에 연애서라. 다디 풍부가를 뜨진 젤니어라. 뜨진 젤니는 발로 딱 봤음리 요래서라. 팀 멤버체 풍부를 때는 발로 딱 봤음마이바. 다 코라 랑윈에 수요나서라. 랑게 뭐요나 풍부가 버려다 직전에 요래다 타대전에 요래서라. 직전에 요나 수다를 쏴다 두시다 두이다. 근데 풍부 다망 버려놓으라. 타대도 요스네 아니 다디다 아니 리니 풍부하고도 배 된데서 타대가요나 아니 다 되성도 소보 통할 때는 다 통화 semle 때는 다 샤바치 된데지 풍부하고 강론지 차는 때는 다 차고 말아 소보 파샤 셈 파샤 소 파샤 두시 파샤 단디리스 제제 로레 통야요 버치고 그때 때문에 와서가 알아 되네 다 들리야나 소보데 타바네신 셰티 나로 다데 정신선 된데서 요르베스 덴베스 티야요 말에서 오라 야나 다데 나로 요버체 소보데 풍불어서 파 땡제 된데서 요르 티야요 말에서 오라 어디에네 다 간데서 요르스나 풍불할 때니 팔려 딱 받삼라 샤워마도 디나네 제너라요 말에서 다 동바셰거라 또 띵하고 간걸 자주라
Maybe it's easier to then think about this in terms of the self or I. How does the how are the self and the aggregates related or not? And so then, when you think about the self and the body and mind, then the self is imputed independence upon an aggregation of the body and mind. You can think of it as body and mind, or the five aggregates of form, feeling, discriminations, compositional factors, and consciousness. So that's that's the way that self exists. But if you're going to then say, well, it doesn't exist in that way, but exists autonomously from its own side, then you can subject that that inherent or autonomous existence to analysis by saying, well, then is the self the same as the aggregates, or different from the aggregates? Does it exist in dependence upon the aggregates, or the aggregates depend upon it? And then, so when you think about is the self the same as the aggregates, then just as the aggregates are many, the five aggregates and all the different components of the five aggregates, then there would be many selves, just equal with all those different components of the five aggregates. And then, if instead you say that it's separate, the self exists separate from the five aggregates, then it would, just as you can separate out each of the five aggregates, the form aggregate, and then there's four more aggregates left, and you take away the aggregate of feeling, then the aggregate of discrimination, and then the aggregate of compositional factors, and the aggregate of when you've taken those four away, it leaves the aggregate of consciousness. Then when you separate out, just using your imagination, that to separate out the aggregate of consciousness, then the self should be there, but and something. What do you say, that you can apprehend with your perception, but that's not the case. So then it doesn't exist separate. So then you analyze, well, is it, once you have those two, then does the self exist just like the self and the aggregate, does the self, what do you say, depend upon, behind the aggregate is just like,
so does the
self depend upon the aggregates, just like a table and a cup, and or do the aggregates depend upon or do the aggregates depend upon the self, like the dish and its contents? So then when you negate all those, then you come to the conclusion that it doesn't exist autonomously, or what do you say, inherently, and then you're left with how it does exist, which is it exists as a imputation of a concept or a term, or a dependent arising of, you can say, of the imputing term and concept and the basis of designation. It's 5 aggregates.
Tatondako Pumbungabu Kangrunchi similar charni, and it ta charamado, Pumbunga de Pasha and ta loga, Toya Mara. No, Tindiko Pumbunga Latin, Jelne, and a lefa tapa some Latasha Gorese. Ramato Yona, and Pumbunga would renereda, Pengo Kakachan Yores, Dio Mares or Shegura.
What's being explained is that the self has to be something that's associated with our body and mind, our 5 aggregates, and so then once you have that, then you have to examine, well, is it the same as the 5 aggregates, or is it different from the 5 aggregates?
Moya Tandi Bashe. Tandi Sholoka Kare. This one. Tangiba Shebala Shandikaba Raluka was in Gdo. Keba Shevadilla. Tan Shandikaba Dira. The Tambo Senika Walini Chitashan. Shandikaba Dulani, Senika, Senshika was in Gdo. Oh, yeah. Then Tatambo Shandikaba Dira. Senika Walani Chi. Se Chit Shanti Ten Bakaba Tansigua. Se Sudu Pumbatabu, Kawatabu, Mobuchiora, the let's say Sigara. Kawa Pumba Suta Terrorisal Sobat says Chera. Chi Siduza Pumbani, Kawani, Sani, Sete Chira, the Kechera, Chirabag. Kishayora. Chit Shanse, said the Pumbache. Then Chidi Pumbani, Pumbato Sura, Pumbani. Kawani, Suni, Tani, Palani, Mini said Chishayora Kunza. O Tinian, o Taderes Yora. Umbo 7 Tapalani, Pekaga Korani, Niores Yora. Se Chiton Shan get 10 Bakabasidu. Se de Pumbatabusha, Pumbani said Chisha, Pumbani de Tangentiche, Tensa de Pumbateres or 10 Tempachani or Ese. In a Kuni, O Taderes, Taderes or. Ten Batipa Kagiora. Tambutika Gdua. This one.
The Ze Tade, I say there.
Oh, the Ze Tade Sura. But the Zeres that Ali, Tiakura. But Nis Chishagores, Chitaba Lurida.
Bumanis and the cheat, or bad cheat.
Chire, Chishagora. Chishagora. Pumbaze, Pumbanise, Kawani, Mini, Yabani, Movani, Tani, Nisiri Kangalia. Telechisagora. And it's Chiton Shangi. Say Pumbati, Pumbani, the Chiri, Chiton Shangore, Chidi, Chiton Shang, Pumbale, Shambe. Pumbadango Tade Chidi Tenres ora. Zed Chiton Shangi Ten by the Pakagdo.
Oh,
This way.
no, it's this one.
Yeah. Tambo said Chiton Shangi Ten by Kagbani, Chidabanare, Sudan Pumba Session in music. Sudan Pumba Nibid Session race Pumba Pumba Sunisora. And the Yoba Session in this Pumba Yoba Nis, Tini Session race ora. Pumba Zay in Las, Pumba de Zeres, Yoba Ni de Chires ora. Pumba Ni de Chire, Yoba Ni, Mobuni, that was Kangashazura. She be Chichembu, Tanshan and Java Yobe, near to us. Pumba de Yobare, Mobore, Sure, what in this Tanya de Jugu or Resura, Nietus, Tanya Jugu or Resura. This one, I let you love that Tibet.
The first. Now we're going on to the explanation of refuting truly existent composites, and here it starts with refuting non-Buddhist philosophical tenets, positions, and here in particular choosing the Vaisheshika. And the Vaisheshika then it starts with refuting the characteristics, and here this particular verse is refuting the substantial entity as a basis for a distinct generality. Here, what the Vaisheshika say is that there's this everything has a substance that's called a generality, a distinct substance that is what do you say, is one. De Jigro, de Jidang Bumba de Jigro,
Zay Shen in Sigurako.
Zay Shen.
Zay Tade in Sura.
No. So here then the Vaisheshika assertion is that though the pot and its form are not different substantial entities, that means they're this, what do you say, the same nature, or the same, what do you say? It's generality means that, yeah, well, anyway. So then its existence in the pot, existence is another substance identified in the Vaisheshika, and then are different substantial entities. The pot is a substantial entity and is said to exist through its connection with the great generality called existence, which is something separate from it. Yeah, no, it said that those two things, the generality and its and the pot and the form are not different substantial entities, okay?
Yeah,
you got the vase, okay? It's a substantial entity.
Okay? Pumba ni sena pumba chire da. Pumba jere so pumba ni se de kuni be kaga yore res chose pumba re de pumba ni re de pe de ni kaga yore so ra se shen res chi den shen se gra ngara nangba yene chi de da sawa ni bu de den shen yo ma ri chi bar ngo chi bar Joshua saware mi sena chira Joshua mi ni ngo chi gre Joshua mi dang ni ri mi zero mi dang ngo de ni yo Joshua chi che mi sin de ni yo ma ra Joshua mi dang ni re mi ngo re chi dang chira ngo chi bare de je na sa chi bare de chira ba kar se was na je de pumba res Pumba de Yoba Ni said, Chires ora.
Yeah.
Yoba Ni, Mobo Ni, Pumba Ni, Kanga Lapsora.
No, they.
Cheba Ni Sakanga, Kora Chiri, Chimanguyare.
No, they.
Tini Yoba Ni de, Dan Pumba Nibude, the Ni Kagares, Chitin Shansgora.
Pumba down.
Pumba Yoba Ni.
They look at
Chitin Shans, then the Ni, Wombo Seven Nashi. The Ni, and the Ni.
Okay, no, it's so the generality and the Bumbanis and the
Pumba Nida, Pumba Nibude, Pezza Tadere, Mo Tadere.
yeah, they're two separate things. Okay, it's generality in general. For Buddhists, they say like that the generality and the specific are one. What do you say? One nature, one entity, if you want, and so that if you have Joshua as a particular, and the human is the generality. So then that's saying that these two are one nature. But in this system of the Vaisheshika, they're not one nature. They're two different natures. So then they're just like yellow and blue. They're two totally separate things. Okay, that the generality and the specific. Okay, no, that's
But that George, George, what did love that didn't draw the Watingam session.
We had that as a question actually, that somebody Venerable Tarpa did submit, and so then she was asking, basically. It says a generality acts as a common. She was reading for verse 10. There was a footnote on page 368, footnote 10, where it says a generality acts as a common cause for applying terms in the mind to phenomena which it accompanies, and so that was like when this is what the Vaisheshika say, and then she was wondering if he could say the same thing about it. The Buddhists view generalities in the same way, that Nangba dan te drapa de chi chenni de chikpa rebe.
Oh yeah, didn't
The kongi driva then.
Yeah, the member card.
Did
True teachers, me do it.
Code because Chen or Chen Druki Gorla.
Oh, Zeda, you then later, she number 2 said it. Oh, that the early did she Mado, how could we samara? Oh, that the Chirabag, the Chise Chidua, Chise, the Kangalia, Midan, Hadam, Tada Palan Kangalia. Chichiora, Pumba Ni, Pumbe Chire, Tani, Mini searches, Labure, Chirete, Pumba Chistire, Chidico Caril Shagusna, Taton Jubeju Sera, Taton Jubeju, Tada Topan Jubeju, the Chitire Sigora. Oh, Pena Joshua Tonsona, on the meeting do some gere. The courage and Joshua Onyambe. Joshua the Keran Koviore, Keran Tondi Joshua Onyambe Topa Juguara. Oh, didn't you wear the Karjan Juguarsna? Joshua Mini or Joshua Mini, Michiti or Mini. Mini the Yozani, Joshua Miri, Namiri, the Miri consummation do some. Oh, the Mimare, Chosere, Chosiniri, some Shuguniri, Meshevo Nyamgre, Poba Onyamgre Sora. Trado Sosun Jugudo, Trada Toba. Joshua Sesona, Keral Conduda. Thabkhe Sesona, Nal Conduda. Geshe lasana Geshe la konduda. Jokzesana dil konduda. Trade. Trakwana she tokbake o di choksire. Di joshoare, di tebre samahakuda. Di trado jugbe kyusigra. Chuji ji ming di tel kondugare. Tokbake o di miri, di taren, di pajure samsapa jugdwa. Ti juye di peke chitun shanti yore sora. Palani. Palani yosa kangal tadu di palare, di palare samge. Palani yo mare chokse tondi di palamare samge ora. Ti tradon jube kyuti la chisigra.
Trado jube.
Jo, shi.
So the idea is that all phenomena have this in the Vaisheshika system, that all phenomena have this, well, I don't know what you call it. It's this it sounds like a quality, but here it explains that it's a category of existence, okay? That there's a generality that accompanies every phenomena, and it's the basis for us applying terms, and also what do you say? Applying terms, and also thinking about it. Okay, here it says the mind, or applying the mind here, and then it accompanies every object, like for instance, for Joshua, then the generality of human, it's difficult. It's sort of like humanness is what if you translated it literally, there's a humannessness, and there's a humanness about Joshua. Then that allows for us then to apply the term Joshua, but for a table, for instance, you couldn't do the same, because there's a table has tableness that accompanies it, and therefore you can't apply. You would apply a different term, or think of it, and think of it in a different way. So then, so that generality necessarily always accompanies any object. Okay, and that.
This one, yeah.
Very good.
That the karsik dosena, nangba kesena. Di ngazu michi tonsno di miri sa ko togwa. Shingji tonsno di shingri di devre sa ko togwa. Devse sono dele segi sam tranjung dogwa. Pigin jung dogwa. Devki shosno ori pikyung dogwa. Oh, paba keshosna, kap keshosna di kyung dogwa. Tradi telin jung dogwa. En togba de on di kabre san di devre sam di mekshire sam lonjung dogwa. Tradi togba jugdwa. Mire samsa tare sa pamare samsa hakon dogwa. Tradon jugdwa. O di karjan jugyo resigora. Joshua tonson mire samsa America re samsa karjan tembore. O America toaseti ores, America chi ores ora. Michi san di tondo Joshua Miresha, America Resha, and di Tebresha, di Gabresha, some Hakotokua, Lonjotokua, Ming of the Telecondua. O the Carjan go your resigora. O Tisigor, oh, de Miresa Coyade, me nisade. Me nisade, Michi shower, 2 years of Kanga, oh, di mimares, di minio maresigora. O di mimare, di miresa, di mire. Dimiri sa ko to sora. Mi chi tuen she yo sa mi o nyam be ta don ju yo re so ora. Ngo be chi tuen she yo sa ngo bo nyam be ta don ju yo re so ora. Shin so. O ta nang ba sin ti ma re so ora. 비가 민이다 땅이 생겨지 요네 아니 티티레 삼 챙겨 말에 가래 땅부 민글랍도 알리 땅부 거란 되버디 찔랍다 단다 아니 남바 찔라나
No, then, so from the viewpoint of the, well, basically you're asking, and we know the names of things, and then we you know, if you say, you know, please get me a book, then you'd know what a book was, but the question that's coming about is, well, how is it that we can affix a name or a term to something, or we know what that is, and for the Vaisheshika, then they come up with this idea of a generality that allows the term in the mind to be applied to the object. It's something that accompanies everything, whether it's you know, well, no, whether it's, you know, Joshua, or the generality is that you understand that I'm a human being. There's a humanness to me, and therefore you can apply a name of Joshua, knowing that I'm a human like that. Then, but it's different from the Buddhist point of view.
No, yeah. Nangbachane te mares gora. Tamboko mis mingta shora. Pevani de mis mingta dusa. Geshe shetum ge sokbotin de yonge mi temu mai beton da shora. O tilian dil mis segredas lavre. Pena michi peve ke lap yuna. Mis ne karse. O mis ne de Joshua da ngada. Nanzo kanga mires asuna. O dinane o dezul misundi mi maren di misigore sa hako yore. Di meridas. Dezul debredas. Sidun di tememba hako yore, di tememba hako yore. Di debredas di chipu debre shanda mare sigore. Tambu labdusa. O ni shukbu karisiro on dile sigrita. Shukbu dezu yigiti sa dile sigrita. Shukbu de karbu yigiti sa di chipu shukbu de ese shanda mare se lab yore. Tambu labdu sa ming labdu. Ka nga se lab gira. On di kare da se. Di kare se do shanda ka mare se yore. O zin di kare se do ko kai tumu maimbe sobda chi yore. O dile ten ya tan di dile peba kasik doa sam shag yore ko. Ta chema ko ha ko sun ka himba kanga ha ko rin di kare mare ha ko re. Di kare se tambu ta chadu. Ming di labdu sa. Shanda de pa ka ni, shanda de mares pa ka ni. Di re da si je koran tumu maimbe. Sashi singen dil yan dil mesig re da si de sashi segba mainde tu me marin di mere da si labdu. Di kona mere se labdu yar tambu labdu. Di mere se labdu yar. Di chide ko sashi segba sangma o di me marin segno mere sam haku yore chare. Tambu da cha du sa me timu mai beton da chilian di mere shenda mare slab yore sere ming tambu labdu. Kaka kanga labdu sa. Di kare da su di khata sobta shenda su mare slab yora. Di yang kare shenda yore sigyo mare. Di kare da su di khona kare da sigora. O di ha ko o ya ta di sobta dinde yenge de ka sigdo asam. In ko ka kanga ngoshin yore di kare di merin di chokse mare di ha ko gore se. Tambu ta cha du ta labdu sa ko ming di labdu. O temai seve ko ne. Timu mai beton da mai ge pa sel ne. Di chibure da slab sha yore chare. Tiende ko yaga ludab dan ba shing se suna. Yaga loman dama yenge de shing sigas ale yaga loma konzo shing sigdo asam di. Ni shing di shing mare. Di shing mare. Pige shing re sa ha ko gore. Nangba ge te sigore. O di labda. 용사 군이 디케제 용사데 싸웠네 용거라.
Right, yeah.
Oh yeah.
The Buddhists approach it in a different way, where they say they go to when you first are taught like the letter Ga, or the first letter of the alphabet A is in our case, then when you're taught the identity of the letter A, that shape, and that A, there isn't anything else that's called A. You'd sort of eliminate all the other things and say, oh, okay, this alone is called A, and so then whenever you see an A, then you can determine that. It's just the same for a book or a tree or a human being. This is a human being. You're the first time that the term is applied to the object, and eliminates all other objects and says this exclusively is called a human being. So then from then on you're able to identify, you're able to understand all the people in this room here are all human beings. And
This one. Oh yeah, that don't go. Tambo tacharete manorna ani kanga hakondora. Tambo tacharete esede dinrechen diyubde eres laura. Oh, that the member doesn't member the igi mangbo yora, ABCD mangbo yora. That endus di eredas labde. Oh, mixen dinre sobdan di chavade eredo shanda mares labde yora. Di labde zantini ko tachema ekabandos di erendi eonyam. Ekabandosna this is labura. Dire, young cabandos dire, dimare, dire laptogua. So Teta Teonyam Tradi Kane Ekabandosna Kagi areas and dire laptogura. Tradi del Kotogua. And they told us all the areas and Toba and Jotogua. So did you had the Tambo Ming the Labdusanko? The Mainge, Conan mixes of the Mainge Pachene. Di Jangjang di Eridas Labre. Di Labzandako Yabuja Hakondore. Sim Shaja Dandi Erin, Kangarere Lakumar Kanga Hakondore. Oh, did Tachadu Tambo egg Tachadu. Sobta mixing di Mainge de Spakane, di Chibu Eridas Labiore. Dig any Chemakanga Hakondore Sigora. Any Segasione Penechi di Ma Agin di Pigin di Singing to Yoma Resigore. So semge patani. Tache dile elaguitase. Labgiore, tigre contribuore sigore. Yeah,
So when it's really, and from the Buddhist viewpoint, when you're correctly instructed that this is an A, then you understand that eliminating everything else, that a letter of that shape is called A. Okay, so it's when you're first given the name, what do you say, instructed in the name for that object, and or that letter, or that first letter of the alphabet we're talking about. And so then at that point, then from then on, you can always, when you see it, you'll think A. When you are asked where is A on the board amongst all the other letters of the alphabet, you'll be able to say, here's the A, and so from the viewpoint of the Vaisheshika, they say there's something about that that accompanies that A that's called a generality that makes it possible for us to say A. They say that something is coming from the object's side, that there has to be something that's always accompanying the object, and that is this thing called a generality. In Tibetan you would say it's anus. No, that's not quite, and not a good word, but then it's A, and then we always add the word NESS, right? It's
etwa
but,
sigra sanskina
but
etwa
anyway, like that, you know.
Oh, A-N-U-S, right.
etwa badi gire this one yeah
Mm.
ta danda ko ya ming di tambula da de mandina ni ya norge ora
No, they.
gyagarchi pele ya yongara gyagarchi ani ko todel karse do sam to yora to chapo 또 충중 요리 전부 요라. 아니 그 랑갈 돈에 파공 또 전부들 가르쳐 그래. 또 전부 요래. 딜 가르쳐 그래서 랍고 요래. 뒤에 그러나 다그 삼나 또그 민디시 거래. 지다 또디 타고. 또 전부 요래 충중 요라 랑갈 또 충중 요라. 그 가르쳐 그래서 랍고 그 또디 뛰고 삼 거래. 또 민디. 괜찮네. 그 삼바래. 내 전부 들려. 가르치기를 쓰고서 파공식을 배워있는 파공.
Pabon, right?
이제 나 가르치기를 또
A boulder. Yeah.
본디세.
Boulder.
딜리안디 본디레스 라이브를 또 도레스 라우레. 도레스. 다 코디 또 지겨래. 코디를 파공스 라우레. 바저데 전부도 쓰기서 파공레스 라우레. 도레스 라우요 말해. 근데 건도네 강배날 또 주저래. 강배날. 된준 어게 강배날 파공 주소스라. 아고서 그때 다들 넣어서 그 뒤 파공세 대세기에서 강배날 파공 전부 주요 말아. 어때래?
Of course, it's dependent upon first getting a correct instruction on what the term for the object is. And there's a story of one Indian who came to Tibet and who came up from the plains into Tibet, and he was trying to learn the word for stone. He was interested in, you know, what is the word in Tibetan for stone.
Quran
He was
또디 가르스 되기어라. 그것도 디스도 그것도 파공의 명들라 더 명들라 요 말와. 어디니죠?
Then the Tibetan who he asked, you know, what he pointed the Indian man pointed to a big boulder, and so then the Tibetan thought, oh, he's wondering what the name for a boulder is, and so then he gave the name Pabong, that means boulder, and so then they were walking along, and the Indian man got a stone stuck in his shoe, and so then he was going, oh, I have a, and then he used the word boulder for this small stone that he got stuck in his shoe, because he just thought stone, right? So he said, in Tibetan, he said, I have a boulder in my foot. I've got a boulder in my shoe, and so you have to get a correct understanding of the term.
어디 따야부 잘 마두라. 그 삼네 가르치거스네 더밍디 되기어라. 담미 땡서 들고 또 전부터 땡라. 더밍 가르스티라. 다그 삼네 삼버에 파공기 명디 되기도 삼버라. 파공식이랬을라라. 다그 삼네 강변한지 다 또디 뒤상 또들 파공식이 어레 삼버라. eng에 강변을 파공주샤슬라라. this
So it's just you have to be told everything without confusion from the beginning, and so the Indian man was seeking the name, the Tibetan name for stone, and it ended up with the Tibetan name for boulder. So then when he identified, you know, that he had a stone in his shoe, he said he had a boulder in his shoe. So it's important that the name correctly affixes to the object.
뭐야? 또다고 사실 태바 타고들 가르치기에서는 애니들 도시기에서는 따단디어라. 그 사실 태바 전부들 가르치기에서 꼰도라. 저 지기 삼바라는 파공식에서 라셔라. 내가 군인이 가가지고 때때 네 파공을 네 또래 삼상 제투 마소아. So tangbo ming tabdu timu maimbe tonda kari ni tiche ti di kona rees lamna ni norgi maare. Kopta chayate ta tangbo chadu sa ma no yabuchi chagudwa.
So the Indian man was searching for a word, the Tibetan word for something that's hard and that there's a hard substance, and so then instead of getting the word for stone, he got the word boulder because he pointed towards a large hard substance, and so then it's important that from the beginning that the correct term is given or is taught to the person with regard to the object.
Oh yeah, di inde kochina ming jugbe shisera. Togbe dishingri di meri samsa togban jugbe shisera. Trato jugbe shi. Di chokzi shibe ming jugbe shira. Di meshe shibe ming jugbe shira. Togban jugbe shira. Meshe sene undi meshe re samgudwa. Di chokzi re sa. Ming dili ko tendenge yo mare. Lungba re ming rita yo ra. Paba ina melia sashtekbana mesigra. Jagarina aksigra. And engine carsere, pair silver. Fire in its sigla. And it on Zambulin coming, Bumda Mabuhijira, nobody remains retavra. Chazan Sashik, but the main ship, Mingjuk Beshide, Mazu Babazu, Tanya Shet and the Soshare. Togbe Tabasa Misre, Samsam Bagati Kellingre. Sashik, but the Meshibe, Tratan Topan Jube Shire. Tratan Toba Meses until a cogure. Toba Gati Thompson and Mesam Tengi or Rese. It Tayag Shin draw at the Kotoba search at the Toba Tasam. Rangating you to Gumare. Rangating you to Mikanga, Lumbakanga, Ming Chipa Yungura, the Yungumado. Some Ming Jubeshi, Tato Jubeshi, Rangating you to Gumare, Samzambagala. Rangating to Mara Toba Tasam Res. Garazu Timjis and the search arrow. And they Tim the kitchen do yara.
Then, so when we affix a term or a concept to an object, then that object is called the basis. Okay, the basis for the basis for the term and concept. Okay. And this is something from the Chittamantra system that they then say that the basis can't exist from its own side. It doesn't have an inherent existence. It's just it exists as an imputation by concept, because when you have the basis like for fire, right? That it's hot and it burns. So whatever is hot and burns, and for Tibetans, they agree to call it, use the convention may, but it's different in every other country, right? So then it's clear that there isn't something inherent to. There isn't something inherent to, it's not from the side of the object. From its own side, there's something that makes it may. It's not that. It's really from this. It's imputed there by the concept. Okay, and
Dogbe Taksam.
Yeah, Dope Taksam means merely imputed by concept.
Oh yeah, this way. Go that here. No, that in the city. Chicago something, Tanda. Means you be here and I'm saying. Oh, the Tanda. 오다 디르다 탄데 디셰야 되고 디 탄데 디하고는 도서하고 그래.
Yeah, then
니니 세도와
no,
지등신 세도 요도 데다 디 지등신 요버들 미오 삼 강가하고 해도 디레스 거라.
no, no.
남바진 디 말이 담보 민다들을 따르마도 콜 지등신 예마 육개지 말이 디온게 따돈 주고요 말에. 다도 똑반 주셔야 돼. 담보 민다들 때만에 세고네 민다 버려. 디가 하고 요래서 거라.
So now we can have a basis for understanding what the difference between the Buddhists and the non-Buddhists, well, the Vaisheshika anyway, in this case, that the Vaisheshika says there has to be something there that accompanies the object, and therefore we know to call it we can apply the term or the concept to it, and that thing is called a generality. But from the Buddhist viewpoint, no, it's something that is taught from the beginning, where when you're given that term, then when you're instructed in the term, then you are told that nothing else, everything else is not that, and this is it. Yeah.
다들 산다고 민 먹어 주제 국바트서 이나 암점매가 된대지도. 딘델람나 하고 그도. 가가 깨지게 된dendenden데체 된den데 강가 하고도. 지금 그 명직배시 칸에 깨지지 요 말자요 말아. 이내 그 락바든데지도 코랑코나 찍고도기도 와. 그 찍서셔라 또 봐. 건든데진 딜린다슬랍데. 이건 된den데에서는 매매고 요라. 된den데에지도 초절 건 강가 건도도. 자그 대다때 된데지도 딜 고고 요서 티 고고사시 버든 가란서 소샤고 여마도 코랑군에 수트에 요마라.
네.
티하고 그도.
네.
디시거.
It's not only names, because for somebody who's deaf, they can't hear the name, so then it's dependent upon signing, and so when they're instructed in what a certain object they have, like for a watch, or then they have a certain way of signing that and understanding the idea that is that sign is associated with that object, and so then what this further supports the idea that there's nothing that's coming from the side of the object that makes it a certain term. Signing. So everybody can understand through signing. Yeah.
이게 뒤에도 카넬라베디 티샤라. 티셔도 티티티를 스틸 콘도 다다 고요라 고고에 쇠샤라. 네. 고고에 장 하마고는 장요 말탄다 장요 말타스데 니 티샤라. 니치 쇠셔도 딜디스르데 데스데 야부제제 책도서 인도 가부제 고기도와. 당아주 때문에 이그랬대. 강배서로 티샤 장자 하고야 아이 삼사시도와. 코란즈 빼 야부제 고야요라. 다 건조도는 비게 메시미지는 디르 무타가지 디르 가리나 삼비라 고고야지 소샤가라 또 똑배다니 팀지스는 디스는 다다다단 로샤가라 그랑은에 개요 말아 그랑은에 요는 리카세드 강가강가 주피베까지 찌찌 말아.
The same goes for writing. When you certain letters join together and form words, and if you're not instructed in this further supports the idea that everything's merely imputed by the concept. If you're presented with some kind of writing in a different language that you don't know, there's no way for you to understand it unless somebody instructs you that these letters put together in this way then mean this, and then don't mean anything else. And so, for instance, in Chinese, then also then there's the, very, it looks very complicated to us, sort of like a house, the shape of a house, but for them, they can understand exactly, for somebody who's instructed in it, they understand exactly what's being communicated by these characters.
Oh yeah. Anganzu tambo jahalebde. Keji chishingi omara. Any nyobje jagurwa. Any concept chik the chena. Sum sigdo and the comangayas in the desigura. Sum send sum the desigura. Inganzu is a niche and the any chick chega. How can none?
When we first came to Tibet, I mean, from out of Tibet into India, then we didn't know a single word of the local languages, and so we had to go to the. Yeah, so we had to go buy vegetables, and you could only just rely on some kind of hand signal, like pointing to a certain vegetable, and then like in order to understand how many rupees it was, you could use your three or two fingers, and then and say, is it this, or how about if I give you two, and then if you wanted to give a half, you could put like half of your finger like this, and then everybody, then you could actually communicate with people. Yeah, no, it's so all of these things, whether you're using your hands, gestures, or letters, or some kind of word, it's a way of communicating the meaning of with regards to certain objects. Right? Like some people that they use thumbs up as a that means something's very good. When we would use our when we were trying to like dig up some wood, I guess dig up a tree or something, and then the locals were very angry that we were trying to do that, and so then in Tibet it was okay to give this, please excuse me, you'd put like two thumbs up like that, and that's the gesture that means please excuse me, but in the local convention, that was like, well, to use our it was meant a very bad thing, which is like your lower finger. It's like, for us, was like flipping them the bird, and so they'd get really pissed off when you did like that, and we had no understanding of why it was. So it's really a question of the that we make it up by thought, because I mean all these gestures have no meaning unless we attributed some kind of thought or concept to them.
수술lumbaru timbre sesharwa
no.
odi nashin drogodamado tilmado deyo marwa shenko yiji miji pebene koransu chimi yigde kangalo sujora dinashin drogora odi tendeke yomana.
But it's just sort of the local conventions, like in the country. For instance, in Tibet, you have to write letters in a certain way and compose a text in a certain way, and so then you have to go according to what the rules are for composing a text.
Oh yeah, that do it.
That's awesome. So anyway, that's the end of the class.
Oh yeah.
So time's up.